Welcome to the HHW Show podcast. I'm Obi1, and we're going to recap what we saw here on the Survivor Series right now on the HHW Show podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the HHW Show podcast. I'm Obi1. Quick recap on what happened in the Survivor Series and some questions and reactions going on for each main event. And we'll start off with the women's War Games. A fantastic job. I was so entertained. It started off well for the show, and without a doubt, Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch. I mean, they had their moments to where they finally got rid of whatever they had against each other, and they played it out. They worked as a team, and they came out victorious for team. Charlotte, Shotzi, Bianca Belair, and Becky Lynch. So, by all means, this was spectacular. But the question I have, and it's not Becky Lynch, but Bailey. Bailey's sacrifice. I think she was the MVP of the whole entire match. And even though that damage control lost, I still feel like Bailey was doing it all. And she helped Carrie Zane from getting speared by Charlotte Flair. That's one thing that I'm really curious about as to why Carrie Zane did not come to aid Bailey when she got slammed on the table. All right. That's just one thing that I don't know. Um, I guess it's probably the start of where we might see Bailey separate herself with damage control. So I'm just curious to see what's going to happen on SmackDown to see if Bailey will address that, or did Kairi Sane did get hurt. It's hard to tell. But that's one of those things that I would love to know. But big shout out to the team of Bianca Belair that did it all. Congratulations. And look, that maneuver with Io Sky with the garbage can throwing herself out there. I mean, she's just monumental. She never fails when it comes to war games because she always brings it, and you never know exactly what she's going to do. So spectacular to her. Moving on to the Intercontinental Championship, Gunther did not disappoint, and of course, if you ever thought or had a chance that the Miz was going to win tonight, man, you were mistaken. It was all Gunther. And once again, I feel like he is the one that is taking everything that WWE has to offer. He doesn't shy of any challenges. He goes after every opponent. He wants the best. And I think that's going to build him up for the future. And I believe that that future will be, and this is my dream match, Gunther versus Roman Reigns. Why? Because both of these superstars are just breaking records, consecutive days of being champions, and sooner or later, those two superstars have to cross paths. Okay. Another match, Santo Escobar defeated Dragon Lee. I don't think there was a difference between Dragon Lee or Carlito. Somehow, some way, Santo Escobar was going to win this match tonight. And if you tune into my previous podcast, Santos Escobar, I think maybe it was an audible to where, look, it's him versus Dragon Lee. He can handle it himself. But if it was Carlito, I have a feeling that Santos Escobar had a backup plan and he didn't have to use it tonight. But big shout out to Santos Escobar for winning that match. And he did it fairly and he did it clean. Okay. And that's something that we don't really see from as a heel. Another one was the women's championship. Rhea Ripley did win her match. Spectacular. Zoe Stark, she brought it up. She got some moves that I haven't seen from NXT that she brought into the main to this match tonight. And again, I think it was surprising for Rhea Ripley for what Zoe can do, but at the end of the night, it was still Ripley being the champion. And the main event, um, listen, I mean, people were posting the spouse of Randy Orton and watching it from outside the ring. So it was like, that spoiler went out the window. But Randy Orton came through, and it's awesome to see him back. And look, he looks bigger, he looks stronger. And what if he's the one that could destroy the bloodline? I mean, he is the legend killer, but could he be a family killer? I just added that right now, so I didn't think about that before. But Randy Orton, could he be the one? Okay, and of course we might have to see him chat with Jey Uso, hopefully on Monday Night Raw, to see his difference. Because I'm surprised he didn't RKO Jey Uso after the match. So, but anyways, talk about after the match. Big surprise, and finally, CM Punk is back with WWE. Now I'm curious to see how that's going to turn out. We know the fallout he had with AEW, but now being at WWE, being that it is Triple H running the show, not Vince McMahon, I'm telling you, never say never. All right. And for so much that CM Punk had to deal with, his feelings and everything else that we've heard from the past, who would have thought that CM Punk would go back to WWE? Okay. Especially where he always said that the last time he had fun was with he was with Ring of Honor, even before he entered the WWE. I'm telling you now, it is a different flavor going on in the WWE, and that's why so many people are watching WWE more than AEW. So I can't wait. The question is, will CM Punk be on Raw or will he be on SmackDown? Being that it's in Chicago and close by, I got a feeling that we're going to see CM Punk on Monday night. Maybe so, briefly, but I'm just curious to see which way he goes. But it's going to be interesting. Something else that Hector texted me about, the other co-host of the HHW Show podcast, and he says, "Wow, we just saw Randy Orton come back for almost nearly 2 years not wrestling, and yet now CM Punk comes out, and that stole the show of Randy Orton's return." I wouldn't think that he stole the show, but being that he is from Chicago, CM Punk, he got the crowd, he got everything going, and that was probably the biggest pop that we've seen in a long time. So I'm just curious what's going to happen next. I mean, Damian Priest, let's put it this way: Drew McIntyre, and I want to go back to the main event. Drew McIntyre did not know the plan. Okay. He thought that we were sticking with the plan, but the plan was all mommy, right? It had to be Rhea Ripley. So, in other words, Rhea Ripley is the person that's pulling all the strings for Judgment Day. So that's official. But remember this: Rhea Ripley came out with the briefcase, and the plan was for Damian Priest to cash in and become the world champion. That did not go through. Randy Orton came in, interrupted that. And of course, the biggest one of all is the biggest RKO. Finally, Randy Orton is back. Damian Priest cannot cash in the Money in the Bank briefcase. And what's going to happen on Monday? Could we see frustrations of Drew McIntyre with Judgment Day? I mean, listen, Drew got what he wanted on Jey Uso. I don't think he's going to be satisfied. I still got a feeling that there's going to be a one-on-one match with Drew McIntyre versus Jey Uso. That has to happen. For Randy Orton, what's next with him? The drama between him and Jey Uso. Or could there be a clash with Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre? Or could it be that Randy Orton moves over to SmackDown and then finally he will go piece by piece along with LA Knight to take out the bloodline? There's just so many moving pieces to what could really happen here. And this is why I love WWE. The storyline could go left, it could go right, go middle, it could go any direction. And the suspense is real. What is your reaction? What do you like about Survivor Series War Games? What do you think is the future that or the storyline that's going to happen nearby? I mean, listen, this has got to be great, man. It's awesome. And that's why we gotta love some wrestling. So tune in to the HHW Show podcast every Wednesday, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or you can visit my website, hhwshow.com. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Have a great night, everyone. I hope everyone enjoyed their Thanksgiving weekend. Happy holidays.
Don't